Hello, what is going on, guys? I am NumbNexus, bringing you back here another Smogon tier discussion video here today. Of course, if you guys are enjoying, make sure to slap the video with a like, subscribe if you already haven't, and I actually would love to hear your feedback in the comment section on what you think about this. Is pretty, people think it's a prevalent ban. I honestly agree with the ban. It is Aegislash is now banned from OU. Now, this is not to be a surprise. You know, I feel like more people are going to be complaining about this one, and believe it or not, there were people complaining about Zygarde ban, you know, the perfect form one, and I'm like, are you serious? Aegislash ban is a good thing, definitely, because he does pop a lot of walls, especially Toxapex, a very common wall which you now see from this new meta. He checks a lot of good Pokemon. He checks three of the UBs that I can think off the top of my head: Kartana, Pheromosa, and Buzzwole. Buzzwole does learn Earthquake, of course, but you know, all the other moves that Buzzwole learns, he checks. Like, if you're not running Earthquake on your Buzzwole, what are you doing? You know, maybe I'm fucking up, but he doesn't even learn Earthquake there. I don't know, but if he does, well, then if he runs it, and if he doesn't run it, well, what are you doing with your life, you know? And it just goes to show that he also stopped Pheromosa, somebody which, if you look at its stats, it's a glass cannon, but it's absolutely devastating. And now that Aegislash is gone, Pheromosa is going to be running a lot more house. You know, personally for me, I thought this is going to jump the usage of Mandibuzz, because Mandibuzz perfectly checks Aegislash in every way, but it's like, it just does not. I guess people just didn't really go with it, and there's a lot of explanations to that, because Aegislash is almost always ran with Tapu Koko, more Tapu Koko than Xurkitree, I should say, because Tapu Koko has to have fairy typing, so you can be able to kill those dark and dragon types at the same time, rather than Xurkitree you have to run Hidden Power Ice to kill like Garchomp and Menzin. Well, not really Menz, but you know what I mean, Garchomp. You know, Garchomp. He's running everywhere right now. And it's interesting to me, I guess, maybe to see it maybe banned this early. I knew it was going to be banned, but this early, I guess, is interesting to me. They do go in a little deep here. He's a pseudo-base, so what is this? They talk about Aegislash's simultaneously offensive and defensive capabilities are unmatched in OU. So take that with like a grain of salt, because that is actually incredibly true. Like, a Pokemon like this can absolutely handle these supposedly broken, you know, Ultra Beasts and Legendaries and Tapus. He can handle all of them, you know. He killed the Tapus because they all have that fairy attribute. I think the one he struggles with the most might be Finny, because, like, I wouldn't really say struggle with, but doesn't kill as fast as Finny, because it's a lot more bulkier and he doesn't have any super effective moves on it. Whereas, what is it? Tapu Bulu dies to Flash Cannon, Tapu Finny dies to either Flash Cannon or the Tapu Lele dies to Flash Cannon or Shadow Ball, and a Tapu Koko gets shredded by Flash Cannon. Well, he's neutral to it, so I guess you just have to rock out with still Flash Cannon if you wanted to, or Shadow Ball. So it's like, he can kill all the Tapus, you know, he can kill a lot of the Ultra Beasts. You know, Kartana's a glass cannon, you know, he's frail as shit on the special side, and always Aegislash on Shadow Ball and Flash Cannon. Special stuff's been a little bit more apparent, if anything. So it's like, it's not really a surprise, is what I'm trying to say, you know? You can see here, Aegislash's move pool stats and abilities alone make it an absurd force in the metagame, but couple it with its typing and its over-the-top. Like, that typing is so good, is what I feel like a lot of people don't understand. Like, it's so good that you're immune to dark, or not immune to dark, I'm sorry, you're immune to fighting and normal, and your resistances with that steel typing is going to be off the charts. You quad resist bug, you're immune to poison as well, you just resist so much. Ice, you know, you were like bug, like I said again, you resist so much, you know, he has so many good resistances, and not to mention the fact that he can go from being bulky to offensive. And I'm like, talk about like not underestimating bulky, like very bulky to very offensive, you know? So it's like, when you have a Pokemon like that, where it's all the mind games as well, where if they're gonna King Shield or not, you know, and if they don't King Shield, they're a man. If they definitely don't King Shield, sure, his HP shit, and you know, sure, his speed shit as well, but it doesn't really matter when he has 150 in both stats in defense form, and then 150 in both stats in offensive form. So it's crazy, you know, like it's crazy. It's not a surprise to me that he's not banned, is what I'm trying to say. But I guess a little shocked that he's banned this quickly. But he pops a lot of walls. I feel like I'm just repeating myself. I'm trying not to, but he pops a lot of walls, kills a lot of Ultra Beasts, kills a lot of Tapus. So, like, holy shit. Especially Tapu Bulu, he just checks it so well. So It's crazy, you know what I mean? It says the problem that occurs with Aegislash's inclusion in the metagame is not that of a basic metagame centralization. Centralization is inevitable, and it is not something we seek to take action against. What Aegislash does instead is introduce an instance of extreme centralization which corrupts the metagame's typical checks and counters system. And I guess to go a little bit more into that, he can become defensive and he can become offensive, and his typing is really good with both of that. You know, Steel's a very good defensive typing, Ghost is a very good offensive typing with what little is resistant to it. So he's dealing out a lot of damage essentially. He was also one of the best Pheromosa checks. So he absolutely walls Pheromosa like whole moveset that he can possibly learn. Like I think I've seen some people run like Hidden Power Fire just because of it, or Hidden Power Ghost, and I'm like, let's not do this. But he resisted like the common spread of like Bug Buzz, Ice Beam, High Jump Kick, and Quiver Dance, which is a pretty common Quiver Dance set right there. So like, I don't know how much more I can say. He kind of speaks for himself. I'm trying to say this without repeating myself, but he definitely speaks for himself. You know, I feel like now with this, let's talk about this now. I feel like now with him actually being banned, it's going to make a lot of Pokemon, like, get a lot more love, number one, because some people couldn't run certain mons because Aegislash is just so there. And this is pre-bank too, so it's like, some mons didn't exist, but even still, he still would have been banned, you know, post-bank. He still would have been banned. Unfortunately, Mandibuzz couldn't be the one, the real one, like last generation with X and Y kind of generation when he was banned in there. He was hard countered checked by Mandibuzz, and Foul Play shredded it. But it's now become the fact now where it's like Mandibuzz gets destroyed by all of these Ultra Beasts and all of these like, you know, all these like Ultra Beasts that can get tampered by, like Ice Punch Buzzwall, Ice Beam Pheromosa, Kartana, maybe not so much Kartana, but you know what I mean, like Xurkitree especially. So it's like even the Tapus, you know, Tapu Koko, Tapu Fini, Tapu Lele could just shred it. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I'm trying not to repeat myself, but you guys know what I mean. Like, he's very potent, he's a huge threat, and it's absolutely incredible. Like, I know the subset is what's something that has been popping up, and that set is very annoying to deal with, and he just does a lot. It says right here, though, with Hoop Unbound being one of the few Pokemon to do so. Let's actually go back and read this, because this is actually really interesting. I just love reading this stuff for fun. I read a lot of this for fun before I actually got into this, you know, because it's very interesting to me. You can read here saying you have Aegislash in Blade form, out 75% versus your opponent's Swords Dance plus Life Orb Weavile. These aren't the only two Pokemon remaining. You have one option using King Shield on the predicted knockoff, which would otherwise KO your Aegislash and lose you the game, or to attack on the predicted Swords Dance, which attack on the predicted Swords Dance, which would lose you the game to your King Shield. It's so 50-50, it's ridiculous. You know, a mon that can go from being, hey, I'm gonna be defensive, to hey, I'm gonna be offensive. It all comes at mind games, and it's a difficult thing to predict. Sure, some people are gonna be like, oh, it's not that hard to predict it. It all comes down with how the player is going to be using it and how the player is. You have to basically predict the player rather than predict the Pokemon. Well, you know what I mean, because the player's controlling the Pokemon. It sounds like Yu-Gi-Oh! I gotta stop. But you know what I mean? Like, you have to look at it in Pokemon as well as in a reward factor, a risk reward. If I take this risk, will I be rewarded kindly, to where if I don't take this risk and I'll be rewarded better? You know, there are some situations where, yes, you should go for King Shield because you'll be rewarded better on their move and getting that lower attack. To whereas, yes, you should not go for King Shield in attack, you know? And then you take that risk of potentially dying since you're not that fast and you're extremely frail. But it's the fact that you're taking the risk and you're going to be rewarded by killing the Pokemon across the field, is what I'm trying to say. So Aegislash, potent threat, he's now gone. It's just ridiculous, you know? It makes sense. It makes sense, but it's going to be ridiculous about the people that are going to be complaining about it. When really, if you are confused why Aegislash is banned, I actually recommend you sit down and actually read this thread that TDK definitely recommended. I would 100% recommend it. I love reading stuff like this from Smogon because it's interesting. It really talks about a centralization of the metagame. I love the metagame. So yeah, just definitely read it. It's going to be within the description if you want to know where it's at. And I guess let me know your thoughts on Aegislash and where you think exactly he's going to go You know, do you think he's gonna get banned or not? Or not banned or not? Do you think who else is gonna be banned now that he's gone? I think a Pheromosa ban is definitely sounding pretty plausible. Sure, Mega Pinsir shreds it, but outside of that, Pheromosa is really dishing out a lot of damage towards everybody else, you know, on the field. And sure, it's frail and priority is the best way to beat it, but they definitely killed off one of the best priority mons we had, Talonflame. And Mega Pinsir's usage has actually skyrocketed since he kills a lot of these Ultra Beasts with his priority, quick attack, and he's actually pretty fast even without the priority. And not to mention as well as I even think someone else, I think Aegislash now begun will get a lot more Buzzwall usage as well. I see Buzzwall and then I don't, so it's kind of like 70-30 or 70 I don't see it, 30 I do, but maybe that's just me and my experience within it. He definitely checked Tapu Bulu as well. I don't know, maybe not so much about the sub leech seed set, that annoying set, but you know, he was somewhat of relatively checked to that, I guess you could say, because he walls both stabs. And I don't think Tapu Bulu really learns anything from my knowledge, because I haven't used him much, that he can do, you know, to touch Aegislash. So it's like, I feel like a lot more mons are basically going to be used now that Aegislash is gone. That's basically the point of a ban, is since it's running house, a lot more things now can happen. So with that being said though, guys, I feel like I've repeated myself a lot, so I'm sorry about that. I just really wanted to get my points across, and I love talking about stuff like this. So you let me know in the thoughts down below in the comment section of what you think of this Aegislash ban is. You let me know who else you're going to see is going to be banned from this, as well as who's going to get more usage now that Aegislash is gone. Since when a Pokemon is banned on another Pokemon will get more usage now that you probably haven't seen before. But with that being said though, guys, thank you for watching. It means a lot to me. Check out the videos that you should be seeing now on screen. You can just click them, mobile device or screens, and it will direct you to that. But with that being said, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you for watching. I am NumbNexus. Goodbye.